So really all you saw that day was Night Witch decks, whereas Godslayer pretty much just played Lavaloon all his way through, with to the table today, because I mean, if they keep...
Splash Yard deck, this is a Splash Yard deck that is a little bit better against Lavaloon than most, because you have the Executioner instead of the Board.
Yeah, and one thing that stands out is Godslayer does have the Rocket, so that could take down the Executioner, which only leaves Tornado Baby Dragon to defend against Lavaloon.
That's the whole reason he played the Rocket. So Executioner doesn't die to Lightning, and that makes it really tough. Like, you can Lightning it, but if it's still sitting there killing your tower, who cares? So instead, boom, that is a Rocket on the tower and on the Executioner. Got to be happy with that. That tower is down to 1707 as Lucifer is trying to figure out, all right, I took the Rocket. I know what my opponent's playing. You know very well what he's got at this point. It's time to recover.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Godslayer decides to pump up anytime soon. He might have it in rotation. Now, there it is. There's the pump coming down.
And you got to do it because, well, there's no Rocket on Lucifer's side, so what does he recover with? So it looks like we've already seen the Night Witch out of the other side. That Knight was a tell. The Knight was a giveaway that he's about to go Graveyard the opposite lane of the Elixir Collector. So the Night Witch came out on that side preemptively to help defend.
Yeah, and the Poison actually did a pretty decent job. The Skeletons were able to take down the Night Witch faster, so the Bats did die to the Poison. And he got off a decent amount of damage on that left-hand tower, pretty much evening up the game. Lucifer is a little bit in favor, though.
I'd say it's Godslayer's turn, though, to really make an impact. He took some damage, but he got the Elixir Collector on the board, and now he has a slight 1 Elixir advantage. It's got the Lava Hound out. If he can deal with this Executioner, maybe give it a little rocket on top of the head, I think he's got a pretty good shot. Now here comes a Tornado. Yep, pull it all back. That's why you got to rocket that thing. You almost can't even let them pull off the Executioner Tornado because it's just so valuable.
Yeah, and Godslayer opts to pump rather than playing behind that Lava Hound, and he rockets Executioner. The Lava Hound will get a few hits in here.
That seemed really late.
Yeah, it was a late rocket, but here comes a Graveyard push. Goblin Gang to stop the Knight at the bridge. Tornado pulling everything together. That Baby Dragon Tower and Log will clean up that Graveyard pretty well.
The Poison's coming down to weaken that Elixir Collector in the middle. The Bats are closing in as the Baby Dragon's turned around.
Oh, the Baby Dragon was focused on one skeleton that was left behind the tower, and the Bats were able to sweep in and do a lot more damage than could have been done if the Baby Dragon was focused onto the Bats instead.
There's the Rocket, not even playing it with this time. Yeah, see you later, Executioner. Now, can the Balloon get through now? There's still a Baby Dragon, there's still Tornado. It's not like just because the Executioner is gone, there's no splash damage or no Tornado targets. Yep. But, oh, he's got the Poison now, too.
The Poison, but I think the Balloon is going to live here. Nothing is focused onto the Balloon. The Balloon's going to get through. The Executioner is going to get a hit.
And he just needs a Rocket.
Is the bomb going to do enough? No. 37 health remains. A Knight Graveyard. There's the Rocket. And Godslayer coming out on top with the Lavaloon Rocket.
Wow, I'm really glad, though, that he went back to playing a deck that he's familiar with, that people know him for. If you've been watching the qualifier tournaments, you probably have an opinion on some of these cards built up from watching these matches. Yep. Godslayer really made the Twitch chat go crazy. Like, I am not playing that game with you. So here we go. We see the Tornado pulling it all together and the Poison that is so much splash damage. Yet you're right. Nothing actually locked onto the Baby Dragon or the Balloon. It dives between the Baby Dragon and the Executioner, gets to the tower, and even though it only gets 1 drop, the additional explosion of the death damage gets it low enough that all it takes is any of those spells. You had a Log and a Rocket, opts to rocket it. Yep. No. I think Lucifer might have just been like, you know what, I played that wrong, or I had a bad cycle or a bad opening hand. I agree with Lucifer's thought process that this deck should, like, absurdly beat Lavaloon. Yep. Like, you have the Tornado, Baby Dragon, Executioner. You've also got Night Witch. You've got the Poison for your... I mean, I don't know. This deck should just really beat Graveyard, but Godslayer really knew what he was doing. Didn't fall for it.
And that first push was absolutely unreal. The Goblin Gang from Godslayer came out a little bit too late as the Knight took aggro from the Crown Tower, and the Skeletons were able to build up quite a bit. The Night Witch was placed in front, which only allowed to hit 1 skeleton at a time, while a pile of skeletons came in from the back, and the Poison helped take down that pump earlier than it would have fallen.
And of course, the Elixir Collector getting caught up in that Poison really hurts, because it's like if you took that much damage but your Elixir Collector was full health on the other side, you're like, no, I got an Elixir advantage, I took some damage. But unfortunately, he took a lot of damage and lost whatever Elixir advantage he was trying to build up.
Yeah, Lucifer has a slight Elixir lead right now, and let's see if he's going to keep that. Executioner is going to come down along with the Night Witch, and see if a Tornado is going to be used here.
He's trying to get back to, he's playing the Skeletons, trying to cycle to it. Oh,
yeah.
No! But Lucifer has the 3 Elixir now, but I guess opted, thought it was too late, and it looks like we're going to take this tower.
Yeah, the Balloon death damage will take that tower, and Lucifer's going to have to take that left-hand tower and then get a really strong push going down the right-hand lane.
He must have spent way too much on that first attack. Now here's the... Oh, no! The Tornado doesn't hit the Night Witch!
The Night Witch would have been huge value if that was pulled in, but I think the King Tower will finish it off, and Lucifer was still able to take that top left-hand tower.
Yeah, the thing is, basically, if he had pulled that tornado off a little more effective, I guess it didn't really matter, right? Because he still did take the tower. But you're right. He would have stopped the counterattack and got a little bit more of an elixir advantage. Great job by both players taking down a tower. We are entering double elixir time. This is interesting because both of these decks are strong in double elixir time. They're definitely more, they're not like Hog Rider decks or Miner decks where you don't really want to play in double elixir time too much. These decks thrive.
Oh, that is huge rocket value, taking down both splash damage units. And the tornado's gonna pull everything back into the poison, and the balloon's gonna die.
It was locked on. The balloon went a little too fast and got locked on. So we're gonna see some damage here, but not as much. I don't think this is gonna be like a tower threatening push particularly. Might get a couple 500 or so damage on the tower.
If the balloon stayed behind the Lava Hound, that would have been a different story.
Yes, absolutely.
So I do like the matchup in favor of Godslayer. Graveyard is very tough to use when two towers are locked onto it. So this is gonna be. This is gonna be, but
why'd you play the
he played the Goblin Gang right into the poison.
That's gotta hurt. He took so much damage after all that. That was an incredible play by Lucifer. He's gotta be happy. He's got the tornado in hand, I believe, so he can just pull this away. If he ever sees like anything that's actually threatening here, the Baby Dragon's gonna tank for those lava pups. Looks like the one more executioner.
The executioner swing, yep, the executioner swing was able to damage some of those pups, and a beautiful tornado right there, pulling the balloon into the opposite lane, making it go towards the King Tower.
Both towers sub 1,000 health though. This is really gonna favor. Here comes the poison. Really, if any of these skeletons get damage on the tower, the poison might be enough.
Poison might have come down a little too late, but obviously Lucifer didn't have the elixir for it at the time.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to cycle another graveyard poison here if he wants to win this game.
Really, maybe two, because that last graveyard didn't do any damage.
Yeah, the Goblin Gang perfectly shut it down. And I think a couple bats from the Night Witch. He's going aggressively.
Cycle back to it. He's gonna take it right here. He wasn't ready for it. The balloon came down, and Lucifer takes the game. We've got our first game 3 coming up.
Oh, match number 7, the first game 3 of the day. We saw both players sticking with the same decks, and like you had said earlier, Lucifer going into this game, he was thinking, all right, I played that first game, kind of iffy. I know this deck can win. I know I can beat this deck, so I'm going to play it again.
Yeah. And that was a really smart move. What I really liked about that was Lucifer, again, we talked about game vision. Lucifer saw, like, let's say Godslayer spends 7 elixir and drops a Lava Hound in the back, like you and I might do if we're just playing a Lava Loon deck.
Yep.
Well, with 10 elixir, Lucifer can really put the hurt on the opposite lane, and you only have 3 elixir to defend with. So early on, you try to move through your cheap cycle cards. You try to just get a little ticky-tacky trades out there before committing to anything big.
Yeah, and the pump is going to come down right here for Godslayer. So let's see if Lucifer opts to... There's the poison. I was curious to see if he was going to go for an aggressive push and go with the Graveyard in as well. But he decided not to. He decided to play it safe. Let's get the poison, let's take some of that pump away, and let's get ready to defend this next push.
Lava Loon's in that lane because it expects that the Executioner is going to die to the tower, but it's going to be a lot harder when there's a Graveyard coming down.
The tornado's going to pull everything together besides one Spear Goblin, but the skeletons were in the back, and a log coming down, cleaning up the skeletons, taking a little bit of damage, but not as bad as it could have been.
Here's the thing, I think he's almost back to the Executioner, and he is. He had spent the skeletons and the Golem, etc. So I think he's trying to rock it right now. He already played the balloon, but the balloon's going to get by the Executioner.
Yeah, Lucifer does not have his tornado in cycle, so this balloon is going to get a lot of damage because nothing is hitting it. That is going to be the tower right there. And Lucifer falls right before double elixir. Let's see if he can bring this back.
Game is not over yet, though, because the Lava Loon deck works so well on offense. It's not a great defensive deck. There's a lot of real stinky defensive cards in this deck. So if Lucifer can start to build up these big pushes, get a lot of tanks on the field, get a lot of units, his counterattack can be absolutely lethal. With an Elixir Collector down, Godslayer doesn't have much to defend with. If a poison comes down or a tornado like this, we might see this tower go down.
Yeah, this tower is going to fall with the support of the Baby Dragon. That tower is down, and the skeletons are marching towards the King Tower. They get a few hits in, but nothing too crazy. A Lava Hound getting played in the back top left from Godslayer.
And I think Godslayer's got to be happy with this. It's a much better deck in a one tower down situation than a Graveyard deck could be. He's got the double elixir for the rocket. Fire that rocket. There it is.
And he's not going to let that Executioner live for more than 5 seconds. He's like, no value today.
2 things are locked onto the Lava Hound. The balloon comes in the middle. The tornado's going to pull them all together, but that breaks the aggro, I believe, on the balloon. It's locked onto again by the Baby Dragon. Looks like it's getting close enough to explode. Gets some damage, but not a ton.
That was a fantastic defense from Lucifer. That was literally as well as it could have gone.
And here's what we talked about the last time. We did that Knight in the center with the follow-up. The poison is hitting 3 units and the Elixir Collector. I mean, the poison values he's getting are insane. If we go deep into overtime, those poisons might might be the difference in this game.
Yeah, the poison was not enough to take down the Night Witch. I don't think any skeletons locked on. Again, we see the rocket going down right on top of the Executioner. Now Goblin Gang is going to come in and help deal some damage, but the Tornado is going to pull everything together, take down the Night Witch, the Baby Dragon. And is the balloon going to get a hit? It might one. Oh, it gets a hit!
He gives the fist pump because he knows he's got the game. All he has to do now is no log's not enough. He's got to get back to that lightning or the rocket.
Elixir Collector.
Is that a mistake? He's saying oops. He's saying oops. The poison comes down.
On Lucifer.
Oh my goodness. I think what he was trying to do there was, of course, just cycle, and he was like, give me anything on defense. Give me just anything I can put down there. I don't know if that was an accident to play it or if he thought the building would buy him enough time and elixir to get back to the rocket. But yeah, he needed to play the rocket, use the log. The log could have been good on defense against that graveyard. I think he was a little antsy to get back.
Yeah, I think
lost the game for it.
He started to cycle, and he needed to realize that that log would have been very crucial to use to defend against the graveyard, and then tossing down the elixir pump. I don't know if that was a misclick or...
It's your boy Bag with my man Godslayer here for a post-match interview. Unfortunately, he had a little bit of trouble with one of his angels. Luckily, Godslayer, I'm glad that you did play your signature deck the whole time. Now, I would argue that your deck is a variation of Lavaloon that takes a lot more timing to get right. Can you sort of explain how it works for someone that's new that wants to try your deck that watched it?
You gotta be really keen with your timing because you can't just rocket random things. That's the whole purpose I put in the rocket, is like I just played, you need to get rid of that Executioner. Executioner is the biggest threat to Lava Hound right now as we talk. You need to have that perfect rocket. You can't just rocket nothing. You have to save it for your Executioner.
Totally agree. Now, the second match was so close. We all thought that you had it. What happened there at the very end?
At the very end, I just needed to defend and shoot a rocket, and then I had the W, but I misclicked and I dropped my pump down, and all I needed to do was defend, and I could have just rocketed, but I guess I wasn't even paying attention, so I accidentally put a pump down, and that's what cost me the game.
Fair enough. Now, I noticed that you played the same deck for all 3 matches. Was that like part of your strategy to not change? Like, I'm going to stick to this no matter what because I'm comfortable?
Like some of the times I like to stay the same because my opponents, if I win or lose, they think I'm going to switch up. So they're probably like, oh, I'm going to try to counter it. But if I stay the same, matchups can be better in my favor.
And just for the fans at home, that beautiful, beautiful hat, was that also part of the strategy?
I just wanted to dress like, because I'm from Texas, I wanted to rep Texas and dress like a cowboy.
Awesome, awesome. With that, let's go find ourselves some carpet back in the locker room.
I suppose I earned that one. I earned that callback.
Yeah. I think Godslayer might have just given away his strategy. He was like, I'm just going to stick with this and mind game everybody else because I'm going to be playing the same thing.
And I promised you guys that I would explain a little bit more about the scoreboard once we had some points on the board. So now, as you can see, we've got a little bit more going. This makes a little bit more sense. Rice in the lead and Batman following right behind. Something to note, there's some color coded here. This is the round robin stage, and as they move on, they'll be moving into our finals. Essentially, every time you win a match, which is the best of 3 per game, you're going to earn a point, and you're going to get to move up the leaderboard. And if you don't win, you're probably going to move down. If you end in the green, so if you're top 2 by the end of round robin, you get preferential seeding moving into our finals, which means you get a bye. You're essentially immediately into the semis. You get a boost in front of everybody else. But if you're in the bottom 2, you're done for. You don't even actually make it to the finals. Your dreams are crushed. You're pretty much done here. And as far as the Blues concerned, they're fighting for the best seed. So obviously, as you move on to bracket further on, the higher seed you are, the more opportunity you get to play someone that's a lower seed and maybe didn't perform as well.